So Dr. Lonnstrom, please take us back to the beginning. So how did this all start with the survey?
Well, what happened was I started full-time at Siena in 1979, and I was a statistics professor, but I loved history. So I became good friends with a history professor, Tom Kelly, who was my partner in founding the Research Institute. And I said to him, where do these presidential ratings come from? And he said, well, the best known one is Arthur Schlesinger Sr., who was a professor at Harvard, a historian. And he did one in 1948, and that was the one that was quoted the most. So I looked it up, and in all honesty, it was awful. He asked 55 of his friends to rate presidents from great to failure, including his own son. So there was a lot of bias in that. So I said to Tom, let me design something mathematically to rate presidents. So we developed 20 categories that would be good over the 200-year history of the school, of the country. And then we did them and broke them down into different categories, such as ability, attributes, accomplishments, and so on. And then we put a rating scale on it. So we came up with a numerical scale to rate presidents of the United States. And we were the first ones to do that.
Wow, that's an amazing accomplishment.
And what's really interesting is it's been copied now by even Schlesinger's son, who has picked up the father's study. He has now put numbers in his study too. So he's kind of copied our system.
It's great to incorporate that quantitative portion to such a qualitative study.
It is, yeah. Rather than just saying this guy was great or this guy was bad, we now have a numerical ranking for all the presidents.
And can you tell us how long it was the process from creating to actually launching the survey?
Probably about 2 years. Actually, I started out with 50 questions and times the 40 presidents, and that was a big matrix, and it took Tom a couple of hours to fill out, and he says, nobody's going to answer this. So we cut the 50 down to 20, and it's worked out really well now.
And what would you say would be the most surprising thing that you've discovered from this study?
I think the fact that everybody else is kind of copying us now, we've become the standard for rating presidents. If you Google presidential ratings, you will see the Siena name come up more often than anyone else's, and people have copied our system. Okay, they may have modifications of it, but we were the first ones to put a numerical scale on that. And so we're very proud of that. People have copied what we've done.
That's amazing, bringing the Siena reputation out there.
It does, yes. Oh, it's gone worldwide.
Now, with that, so with the research you've done, what makes a good president?
That's a great question, and I looked at that. I would probably think three things. Somebody who gets something done. So we have a bunch of categories that deal with accomplishments. So a president who gets something done. Second, someone who's a good communicator, all right, and reaches out to the people, and that's a big factor, charisma, okay? And the third is avoiding mistakes. Very important for a president to avoid mistakes.
Wow. And what would you say would make a bad president?
Bad president, it would be the reverse of that, one who makes mistakes. The other big factor, negative scores for presidents, are handling the domestic economy very poorly. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they had recessions when they were in office, and that reflected badly on their ratings. And another one which is interesting, we have a category of luck. And some presidents have just had bad luck. Mm-hmm. I mean, a recession happened in their term when the cause for the recession happened from the prior president, but the recession happened in their term, so they got blamed for it. So luck plays an element in this thing. Ronald Reagan, for instance, was considered a very lucky president.
That's very interesting. And who would be an unlucky president, would you say?
Well, I think there are several. Jimmy Carter is one. Hoover is one. The stock market crashed. He had nothing to do with the stock market crash, but it crashed when he was in office. So he gets blamed for the depression by a lot of people, but there are a lot of factors that went into that depression. So I think things like that make that up.
And what would you say that you look for in a president?
I think I would look for integrity first. And second, a willing to take risks. And third, the ability to get things done. Like Teddy Roosevelt, for instance, got a lot of things done, built the Panama Canal, took a lot of risks and so on. So Richard Nixon, who's considered a very poor president, was going to be impeached, but he resigned because of the Watergate scandal. But he took a big risk in recognizing China, Red China. And so he gets high marks in foreign policy, but he gets low marks on integrity, okay? So it kind of balanced out, but he's still a very weak, poor president.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Lonnstrom.
Okay.
This has been very helpful.
All right, thank you very much. Enjoyed it. All right.